Welcome class 8 in our e-learning class. Today we will start a new chapter from our civics book, Public Facilities. Come to page number 106. Okay, public facilities, we can see some pictures are given. Amu and Kumar are traveling through Chennai in a bus. As they go down the city, they observe the water facilities available in different parts of Chennai. They can see these Ram Gopal, Anna Nagar, then there's Saidapet, Padma, then there's Madi, Pakkam, there Shiva, and there's Mailapur, Subramanian. Okay, water and the people of Chennai. Senior government officials like Mr. Ram Gopal live in Anna Nagar, Chennai. This area looks lush and green with lawns maintained by a generous spraying of water. Bungalows have tap water for major part of the day. On days when the water supply is inadequate, Mr. Ram Gopal speaks to a senior official whom he knows in the municipal water board, and a water tanker is easily arranged for his house. Like most areas of the city, Subramanian's apartments in Mailapur suffers from water shortage. This area gets municipal water once in 2 days. Once in 2 days, my goodness. A private borewell meets some of the residents' water needs. Borewell water is, however, brackish, so the residents use it in their toilets and for washing. For other uses, water is purchased from tankers. Subramanian spends up to rupees 500 to 600 per month on buying water from the tankers. This we can't imagine, no. For drinking water, residents have installed water purification systems in their homes. Shiva lives on rent on the first floor of a house in Madipakkam and gets water once in 4 days. Such harsh condition, once in 4 days. Shortage of water is one major reason why Shiva can't bring his family to Chennai for drinking. Shiva buys bottled water. Padma works as a domestic help in Saidapet and lives in the nearby slum. She pays a rent of rupees 650 for the hutment, which has neither a bathroom nor a tap connection. For 30 such hutments, there is a common tap at one corner, in which water comes from a borewell for 20 minutes twice daily. For 20 minutes, how it will serve the purpose. A family gets to fill a maximum of 3 buckets within this time. The same water is used for washing and drinking. In summer, the flow becomes a trickle, so that one family gets water only at the cost of another. People have to wait long hours for water tankers. Water as part of the fundamental right. We all know that without water we can't imagine, and because of water only life is possible on this earth. Water is essential for life and for good health. Not only it is necessary for us to be able to meet our daily needs, but safe drinking water can prevent many water related diseases. India has one of the largest number of cases of diseases such as diarrhea, dysentery, cholera. Over 1,600 Indians, most of them children below the age of 5, reportedly die every day because of water-related diseases. These deaths can be prevented if people have access to safe drinking water. See the condition every day. If so many people, especially the children, they are dying, what will happen in our country? The Constitution of India recognizes the right to water as being a part of the right to life under Article 21. This means that it is the right of every person, whether rich or poor, to have sufficient amounts of water to fulfill his or her daily needs as a price that he or she can afford. At a price that he or she can afford. In other words, there should be universal access to water. There have been several court cases in which both the High Courts and the Supreme Court have held that the right to safe drinking water is fundamental right. More recently, in 2007, the Andhra Pradesh High Court restated this while hearing a case based on a letter written by a villager of Mahabub Nagar district on the contamination of drinking water. The village's complaint was that a textile company was discharging poisonous chemicals into a stream near his village, contaminating groundwater, which was the source of for irrigation and drinking water. The judges directed the Mahabubnagar district collector to supply 25 liters of water to each person in the village. These are all stories. There is nothing to explain. So public facilities, like water, there are other essential facilities that need to be provided for everyone. Last year you read about two other such facilities, healthcare and sanitation. Similarly, there are things like electricity, public transport, schools and colleges that are also necessary. These are known as public facilities. So what do you mean by public facilities? Different examples are given. You try to remember. The important characteristic of a public facility is that once it is provided, its benefits can be shared by many people. For instance, a school in the village will enable many children to get educated, definitely. A school in a village is highly required, not only a school in a village, there must be two schools. Okay. So similarly, the supply of electricity to an area can be useful for many people. Farmers can run pump sets to irrigate their fields. People can open small workshops that run on electricity. Students will find it easier to study, and most people in the village will benefit in some way or the other. So children, give a tick mark up to this one. In our next class, we will proceed with the next part. Here nothing is there to explain. Only everything is given in a story-like manner which we have to read. Next day we will start from this government's role. Okay, so still then, stay happy, stay blessed, and read properly the chapters, and we hope that we will be able to complete this chapter within few days, because it is only just of reading, nothing else is there, only we have to read. Okay, bye all of you.